Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Self Improvement Project. We are currently out of the harshest lockdown that we've had, and I am buzzing with ideas. I have to say, if you ever are thinking of doing a project of your own that is passion fueled, purpose fueled, etc., the first thing you need to do is be consistent with it, commit to it, make it realistic. I know it sounds really generic, but my god, I am coming up to a year of doing the Self Improvement Project podcast once a week, and I have never been more full with ideas. I remember a massive obstacle mentally for me was, will I be able to come up with enough content? Everything that I think I'll eventually run out. But there's lots of different things that help create content. Most of all, experiences. Now, I'm just sharing this with you because I'm feeling good about it. But I want to flip it a little bit with this week's episode. And I'm calling this about what to do when you get into a rut. So, as I touched on, we're changing. The world is changing again. It's opening up, and with all this change, I'm finding it quite tough to deal with the come downs after this almost euphoric release. Seeing friends, seeing family, socializing out with a laptop or phone, going out to a restaurant or a pub, being able to enjoy exercise in maybe a more social dynamic. And all of these things have been a celebration. And with all celebrations come the fallout, the come down, the hangover. I'm finding that wonderful habits that I've built up over the last year and a bit are being placed upon the back burner. And this, as well as the come downs or the hangover, combine to lead us down a rabbit hole into a little rut. That back burner turns into weeks, into months, and I know how this goes, as it's not my first rodeo. So, what do I do? I've spent this week reflecting upon those feelings, reflecting upon the world changing, reflecting upon the last year, and I've come up with 3 things that I have done, will do, and continue doing when I find myself in this rut. So if you find yourself in the same position, I'd like you to consider these 3 points that I'm about to share with you that have helped me with the transition and could maybe help you too. So the first one, I'm going to go straight into it. Be forgiving to yourself. When change happens in a positive way, it's a release. It's an emotional release, a physical release, and can be very meaningful to us. You're letting go of frustrations, of things that you have potentially not been able to express in a very long time. These might be connotated with bad habits such as eating out, which leads to not eating healthily, drinking alcohol more than you maybe should, not exercising as much, not doing these things that you have maybe positioned as being healthy habits. Not even from a physical point of view, maybe from a productive point of view. Maybe you do have your own little project that you're doing, or these exercise goals that you've had, you've not been as productive in maintaining those. It's okay. Forgive yourself. It's not forever. That mental forgiveness, that allowing yourself to binge a little bit is okay. You need that to rebalance. You need that to allow yourself to reset. Discipline is almost a little bit of a holy grail. When you have good habits and you've got the momentum behind them, discipline is not against willpower. Discipline just happens. You don't think about it. It's subconscious. But when willpower comes into play, it's because you've maybe not done something that's perceived as good or productive. You've done something that's perceived as bad or unhealthy or gorging almost. So these things aren't forever. It's a constant cycle. If you do end up in a rut with these things and you are too forgiving and you get into an even worse rut, something happens that will change your mindset. You see these dramatic transformations of people who have let a rut go on too long. So remember, it's not forever. Be forgiving with this moment. I use the word rebalance in amongst that point. And rebalancing and reprioritizing is my next point. Rebalancing is a natural occurrence. You cannot be either extremely productive or not productive at all for a long period of time. You burn out or you get frustrated and fed up. You take action or you rest. And we rebalance. This is going to happen. You need to surround yourself with people that will provoke that change. Yes, they will change your behavior. They will manifest that for you by they might be resting or they might be taking action, and you see a bit of your situation or an experience within them. So surrounding yourself with the correct people will help with this rebalancing, but the reprioritization of what you do will also align with your values. Nobody chooses to not work. We as humans are not designed to sit around all day doing absolutely nothing. We need to do little things. I've mentioned this before, but yes, being in a high-paying, responsible job is hard, but also being unemployed and not having any purpose is hard too. Everything's difficult. So prioritizing what is important to you, what you want to do, where you want to go is what you need to do. Sit down, pen and paper, where do you want to go? That will help you. It will motivate you to get out that rut. And lastly, this is a topic that I feel I'm profoundly looking in more detail at in recent months. And it's our identity. So my last point is re-identify. Who are you? Have you become someone new? Are you going down a new path? Is this a positive path? Is this little dip in your journey trying to tell you something? Are you meant to learn something? Is it teaching you something that you need to do? Re-identify with who you were before the rut, what's happening now, and maybe where it's allowing you to go. Aligning with this identity is important at this stage. It will motivate you to get out that rut. It might even make you realize that you're not in a rut. You're actually developing a skill set or a mindset towards becoming the next version of yourself. You are not static. You are not one person forever. So look at your identity. Where is this going? Who are you right now? And clarify that for yourself. Are there things that you like? Are there things that you dislike? What action can you take on those? And that's us today. That is it. So, what to do when you're in a rut? Let's be forgiving. Give yourself a break. Rebalance and reprioritize. And finally, re-identify with who you are. As always, thank you very much for listening. Whilst you're listening to this, I've now got my Twitter going. I've got my email every Sunday morning, which I am loving. I adore it. A little snippet of wisdom each week to have a wee coffee to first thing on a Monday morning. Sunday morning even. And then lastly, I'm developing books as well. Free stuff, paid stuff, you name it. All exciting, but loving the journey. So I'm glad that you're on it with me. And if you find any of this useful, reach out, let me know. If you want to share any successes or stories or wisdom with me, let me know as well. But as always, have a wonderful week, and I will catch up with you next time. Cheers.